Welcome to Naturally Kim's Knitting. I'm Kim, and this is a podcast all about knitting and spinning and dyeing of yarn, all of which I do in my home right outside of Lima, Ohio. Sometimes I talk a little bit of family stuff too, and things like that, but it's all good. If it's not, I apologize. I just love my kids and my grandkids. Okay, today is August. On my notes, I put 47th, 14th, and this is episode number 128. You can find me online as Napier's Knits on Etsy, that's my personal page, or Naturally Kim's Knitting, which is the podcast group's page. If you haven't joined the podcast group, you really should, because we have some wonderful, well, I think wonderful, fun knit-alongs that we're always doing knit-alongs. I always have one going. And if you become a member of our group, you can take part in the knit-alongs. You can take part in giveaways. You can ask questions. You can, we're a friendly community. And through this podcast, I feel like I have made friends with so many of you guys, and it touches my heart to think that something that I figured I was lucky if I was the only one that watched it, that it is actually spread out to each one of you. I am very, very thankful for that. Now, on Etsy, I have a store there, Napier's Knits. I'll talk about that later. On Instagram, I am horrible. I have not posted much on there lately. I posted shower pictures, but that's been about it. But you can find me as Knittin, KNITTIN _Kim. And then I'm Naturally Kim's Knitting on YouTube, Blogger, and WordPress. And yes, I have my show notes on my phone. Do you see my cover? Isn't that gorgeous? It's purple, number one. Then it's got trees and a butterfly and kitty cats on it. It's purple was enough for me, but the trees and the butterfly and the kitty cats are extra special. I apologize if my doggie barks. This is Tuesday. I usually record on Wednesday, and I think it's confused her because she's waiting for the garbage man. Okay, before I go any farther, let me tell you why I'm recording on Tuesday. This is probably going to become a regular thing, because I used to volunteer at our church quite often, and health reasons, neck fusions, replacements, this, that, and the other, I had to step away for a while, not figuring I'd ever go back. Well, I decided a couple months ago that I really miss it. So I started doing it every other Sunday. I go into the office and I go out for service, but I'm in the office otherwise. And I like that. And then I thought, let me see if they still need volunteers at all during the week. And so I asked, and they said, how about Wednesday mornings? I said, you pick the one day I do my podcast. But then I thought, I don't have to do my podcast on Wednesday. So I'm recording on Tuesday. It will be released on Wednesday. Usually I record it Wednesday, and it's released either later Wednesday or Thursday. So this will just put it a day earlier, or at least a few hours earlier. Sorry. I do have a tendency to go on and on sometimes. Okay, now, we haven't had any new members, and that's partly my fault. I'm sorry, my dog's in the other room. She's going to bark. Our neighbor is outside, I'm supposing. I hope it's not too distracting. She is a sweet dog. She just loves to make her voice heard. Okay, now I talked about knit-alongs. I have a few going on right now. We have the finished object knit-along. All you have to do for this is enter a picture and a pattern name of whatever objects you have finished. I had somebody post yesterday or today who wasn't happy with her finished object, but she finished it. So I told her, yes, that still counts. Whether you rip it out or whatever afterwards is up to you, but it still counts as a finished object. So if you put a picture of it and the name and the pattern name, then you are part of the drawing. Of course, you do have to be a member of Naturally Kim's Knitting, and any other rules you'll have to look at on the thread. However, that closes the last day of every month. Yeah, and so that'll be August 31st this month. Trying to think. Yeah, I should be okay next month. And let me show you what's for the first. I vary the number of entries or prizes by how many entries I have. So if I have 10 entries, I have one prize. If I have 10 to 20, I add a prize. 20 to 30, I add a prize. So if I have 1 to 10 entries, they are going to win. Somebody is going to win this gorgeous, gorgeous yarn. It is 100% superwash merino, and it comes from Fiber Spates, and it's Vivacious 4-ply. And isn't that a beautiful green color? I'm trying to think if there's anything else you need to know about it. And then if I have between 10 and 20, I will add a pattern from Ravelry. Okay. Then this month we're doing the Can Knits Pattern Knit Along. Any pattern from Can Knits. It could be a free one. It could be one you spend money on. Whatever. If you complete a pattern by August 31st, put the picture and the pattern name in the Can Knits Knit Along. And if I have 1 to 10 entries, one lucky winner will win one pattern from Can Knits that is giftable. Okay? Let's see. If we have more than 10, I will let you know. We don't have more than 10 right now. And that closes September 1st. I will lock that thread and draw a winner. Okay. Then, I forgot that. We're having a NapiersKnit Knit Along. Over the years, I've given as prizes some of my yarn, the yarn that I've dyed myself. Or people have purchased it. Well, I wanted to see what kind of things people are creating with that yarn that I dyed. So for this month, we're having, till the end of this month, we're having a NapiersKnit Knit Along. Now, as I mentioned, I do have a NapiersKnit store on Etsy. Just a moment. She may not be bothering you guys, but she is bothering me, so just a moment. For the moment, she's quiet. Let's see what happens. Anyways, so through the end of this month, if you create something using NapiersKnit's yarn, post a picture. If you have a pattern name, put it there under the NapiersKnit's Knit Along. And I'll have a drawing. The first, for 1 to 10 entries, there's going to be one skein of NapiersKnit's yarn given to whoever is drawn by random number generator. And then starting September 1st, just to give you a heads up, I'm having a knit along using any pattern from any mitten, fingerless or otherwise pattern from Mila's Knit Corner on Ravelry. She is a wonderful designer. I have pattern tested for her 2 or 3 items, actually more like 3 or 4 items, and I love her work, and I really just want to share it with you guys. So if you go to the Mila's Knit Corner, she did have a coupon code. If so, it's listed under coupon codes on my page. Just go there, copy and paste it onto the coupon code. If it doesn't work, it won't do anything, but if it does work, you get a percentage off of your purchase. And she's doing that because she wants to encourage other people to make her patterns too. So bless her heart, Mila. I don't know if you're watching this, but thank you. Let's see. Whew. Done with all that stuff. Now, what's on my needles? Well, I have been working on my pattern, and I don't want to show it too closely. I don't even know if you can see it from this distance. But the pattern that I'm going to put on my Ravelry page, this pair of socks, this is a Christmas gift also. I'm getting ready for the heel, but I've been working on these, and I'm going to be posting this as soon as I get the socks done. And it will be free on my Napier's Knit page for one day only. I will make it the day after the podcast releases. And that way, any of you who might want to make a pair of socks using that pattern, you can. After that, there will be a fee for it. Sorry, my watch was too tight. But I've been working on that. And they're Christmas socks. It rattles because I keep my Tylenol in there. So I told you I started volunteering at my church again. I always like to take knitting with me that I'm making for the soup kitchen or a chemo cap. And I realized everything I'm knitting right now has a pattern. And sometimes I turn the lights low in the sanctuary and I can't see what I'm doing. So instead, I feel like I'm cheating. But I do pray over the other things that I make at home. It's just, I am making a pair of socks. I'll show you the sock blank. From one of Gail's Art's sock blanks. And this sock blank was called Hawaii. I don't think she has it anymore. But Gail's Arts is a wonderful place. She does beautiful creative work with her sock blanks. And I love it. Let me show you how this is working up. I just want to roll it up because that way I keep it nicer. This is I'll tell you a little bit about the yarn though while I'm doing that. Well, first of all, there's Gail's Arts tag, excuse the coffee stain. And like I said, this is called Hawaii. And it is 463 yards, 100 grams, 75% superwash merino wool, and 25% nylon. I have always loved any socks that I have knitted up using one of these sock blanks. Now you saw the sock blank. Oh, it just unrolled again. This is how far I've gotten on it. But look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I love how the colors blend into each other. And where she has flowers printed on this, you can just barely see where some of those are, but it makes such a beautiful sock. Gail's Art. Oh. And it's just a plain sock pattern. Then, you know, I'm always working on scrap yarn socks. I'm ready for the heel on one of these too. I think I'm almost there with the other. Oh no, I'm not ready for the heel yet. So I'll do a few more rows. But these are those. Look at those. And I realize they don't match. And whoever gets it, if they really have to have matchy socks at the soup kitchen, then they just won't pick it. But I love them. The toes are the same yarn. And actually, this yarn and this yarn were the same. It's just that they are a gradient. And I got those from Knit Picks. But I love those. And as you can tell, I put a little pattern. Oops, that one's got a snag. A little pattern in it. Just because I make vanilla socks all the time for the soup kitchen, I just want to make something different. And that's why I thought, I'll just do that. Now, I don't have it written out. If anybody's interested in me making it a pattern for sale, let me know, and I can write it out. It won't be that difficult. I just wanted something a little different. Then, for my chemo kids, or for the soup kitchen, I haven't decided yet. I have worked, my yarn got broken. Oh my. I have worked on my scarf for them, and I just doing it so that there's little diamonds. You can't hardly see the diamonds. Oops. On there. I should say triangles. They're not diamonds. But, there it is. I'm using the little Corone cupcakes. Sweet Berry was this one. I don't know how that yarn got broken. I will have to attach it again. So anyways, this is what I'm doing with that, and it's a fun pattern. It'll probably be for the soup kitchen, because my caps go to California, and I don't know if they would need the scarf out there. Now, any of you who have watched me for a while also know that I have been making a creation of love for my daughter. The Harley sweater. And this is from Knit Picks Twist and Tweed 2015 Fall Collection by Knit Picks. And this book, last I saw, this was still for sale. I paid $24.99 for it. But I love this sweater. Now, it's not going to look like I got real far, because I told you that the cuffs are a cable. All you do, the part that carries over on your cable, you know, that's the only row that you do, and you do it over and over and over again. And it's very pretty, but I have to do that for 5.5 inches. So it takes a while to get through those. But let me show you the sweater. Look at that. And that cuff is just going to be perfect. So that's the Harley sweater that is for my daughter, that I still love. I just wish the cuffs went faster, but only because I want to have it done by my son's wedding. Excuse me just a moment. And I have another sleeve to do yet. Anyways, I think that's everything for what I have on my needles. No finished objects this week. I doubt if I'll have any next week, but we will see. Other things, there weren't any questions for me this week. That surprised me. I did want to let you know I am an affiliate with Knit Picks, which all that means is if you click on one of the links to Knit Picks in my account and make a purchase, I get a couple pennies. And that I'm going to then put towards prizes and things for you guys. Or postage. Postage can get expensive sometimes. Oh, excuse me. I am so sorry. This month, Knit Picks has Wool of the Andes on sale. It's 100% superwash wool. They have worsted and bulky weight. It's lovely yarn. I've worked with it. I've dyed it before and worked with it, and it's lovely yarn. Resolutions, I haven't finished anything, so I can't add to my resolutions this week, but that's okay. Now, at this point, I'm going to talk about a book I reviewed, and I'm going to do a store update. So if you're interested in that, hang with me. If not, I'll see you next week. Okay, I reviewed Finding the Love of Jesus, from Genesis to Revelation. I had to make sure that's what it was called, by Elise Fitzpatrick. This is a wonderful book. It's a wonderful Bible study book, or just reading on your own. As most of you know, I am a Christian, and I have read the Bible through many times, but this helps you to look at it with God's plan for you, or for the reader, throughout. And at the end of every chapter, there are questions to help you clarify this plan and to see it working. For example, they ask you to recount the gospel according to Sarah and respond. And, you know, that's just one of the questions at the very last chapter. But, wonderful book. I truly like this book a lot. So, Finding the Love of Jesus. And this is a Bethany House book. And it was $12.99. And it is available on Amazon. I'm not sure about Barnes & Noble. It didn't come up. It's on Christian Book Distributors, CBD. I think that's it. So anyways, good book. Okay, store update. So I've been showing you pictures of the yarn the last few weeks. Well, I decided to bring a skein over of each one of my yarns so you can see what they look like without having the glare of the camera. Now this is Genevieve. All my yarn is fingering weight, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 436 yarns and 100 grams. $18 in my Etsy store. This one is called Genevieve Variegated. This is a yarn I made out of my granddaughter's favorite colors: red, pink, and purple. So that's Genevieve Variegated. And oh, I love this yarn. It is, I'm sorry, I'm boasting, but I do love this yarn. It's soft and it's so colorful. Then I need to reskein this one. This is Wildflower Field, and it's all my the yarns that are multicolored are variegated. I haven't done a self-striping for a while. However, anything can be made a self-striping if you request it. This is Wildflower Field variegated. I love it. It has the greens, and then like what you would find in Wildflower Field, there's red and yellows and a little bit of blue. Yay. Then I have, since I have one for my granddaughter, I had to make one for my grandson. And this is gentle shadings of different blues. So this is Tobias. You can tell it's a little bit darker down here. But I like this one too. Then a different blue that I have is called Midnight Journey. It's a variegated. You've got some dark blues, some whites, some lighter blues, kind of like what you see in the stars, or in the sky at night. You see stars. You can see different shades of blue, and that is Midnight Journey. Then I have one more colorway. This is called Cloudy Sky. I don't know why I have to look at the labels. Cloudy Skies. It's a variegated too. Now I should tell you, my daughter helps me name some of these. And when she named this, I went, yeah, I like that name. Cloudy Skies. Different colored clouds, but hey. Talking about my daughter. Many of you know my daughter lives in California. I was watching the news yesterday, and on there came a clip from a town next to my daughter, where my daughter goes to for a lot of her kids' activities, and she goes there for the library. And they were showing how they had to rescue dogs from a kennel there. And I had to call her. Oh, I had to text her right away and say, you know, are you guys okay? And all this. And she goes, well, the smoke from other fires has been worse than the Vacaville, so it must be the way the winds are blowing. But keep these people in your thoughts. Many people have been evacuated. There have been some deaths. And it's really something when you pull up the wildfire map from California. And I look where my daughter lives, and there are fires so many different places outside of where she lives. A little bit scary, especially for our mama who, you know, there wouldn't be anything I could do if I was out there, but I just want to make sure my California family is safe. So if you are a Christian, or if you pray, please pray for all the people out there in California. I know people are needing prayers all around the world, but when it hits home, you just really want to make other people aware of it. So anyways, I think that's it for today. I think I have covered everything I was supposed to. I don't feel like it was much of a visit today, but I do want you guys to know that I value this time that we have together, and I thank each and every one of you for taking the time to watch this. It means so much to me. I look forward to filming or podcast day every week. Just have a chance to talk with you guys, to visit. Even though I can't hear what you're saying directly, I do like your comments of when you visit back with me. I love you guys. Big, big bear hugs. and I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.